hope you like death metal. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, John Barbas. I'm bringing you my top 5 favorite new metal albums from this weekend, and as always, at the end of the episode, we'll do my favorite album art of the week. But before we do the top 5, we have to shout out the big bands that dropped albums this week, so let's jump on that right now. Probably the biggest release this week is Sleep Token's new release, Take Me Back to Eden. This one's been eagerly anticipated for quite a while, and I did a podcast with my theory on why Sleep Token has been so successful this year. I'll have a link to that at the end of the episode, so just stick around for that. We also got a new EP from Ghost called Phantomime. This one's cool because it's Ghost doing a bunch of covers of their favorite metal songs. That's neat. And then probably the biggest one for me personally, we got a new album from The Ocean called Holocene, and I got the distinct privilege and pleasure of listening to this one early, so that means my review is already published on Metal Digest. Links in the description for all my writings there, but now let's do the top 5. Coming in at number 5, we've got Legacy of Brutality from Spain with their new album Travelers to Nowhere, and I almost didn't pick this one. I was listening and I was like, what the hell is this? Because it's a straight up death metal album and the first song is 20 minutes and 40 seconds, and I was like, how dare you? But then I kept listening and I was like, okay, this is actually awesome for 20 minutes and 40 seconds. It's not just, the verse and the chorus repeated for 20 minutes. There's different sections to it. There's lots of cool guitar solos. The riffs change. It's more like a classical piece, except for it's death metal. Now, normally, a 20-minute song is reserved for prog nerds. These guys did it with straight up death metal, and after thinking about it, I was like, okay, respect. And that's why it's on this week's top 5. Check out Legacy of Brutality. Coming in at number 4, we've got Chronicle with Where Chaos Thrives. This is thrashy blackened death from Denmark, and why I really like this one is because it's got the aggressiveness and the attitude of blackened death metal, but it's got this really nice traditional metal guitars a la thrash metal, so you get beauty and the beast. Really heavy. Guitar nerds like me will love it. You'll love it. Check it out. Coming in at number 3, from Germany, so I hope I pronounced this correctly, Thokandra. I don't know about that, but the text will be on the screen right here, and as always, every band's Bandcamp link will be in the description so you can easily find them. The name of the album is Hail the Abyss, and this is some melodic black metal, and I really enjoyed this one. Y'all know I'm not really a black metal guy, but I like this one because the lead guitars are very trad metal, which, like the moniker says, melodic black metal makes it very melodic. But it's got those black metal fry vocals, but instead of the high-pitched squealy kind that I don't like, it's got deep bass in the voice, which makes it sound aggressive, the kind of stuff that I like, and it's very clean too. I love the clean quality of the recording on the vocals. Check this one out. Coming in at number 2, from Portugal, we got Elidium. Again, text on the screen in case I pronounced it wrong. Speaking of wrong, the name of the album is wrong. And this is melodic death metal. And when I say melodic death metal, you probably think about bands like In Flames. Well, don't. Because, In Flames does a lot of clean singing and it's very pretty, and then they get heavy. And I'm not bagging on In Flames. I really like their latest record. But this band doesn't do the clean vocals and the pretty stuff. It's heavy vocals the whole way through. They leave the melodic stuff for the guitar. The guitar is what makes it melodic death metal. The vocals are straight up death metal. I love that. It makes it heavy the whole time. And then I get the nerd out on guitar. I'm sensing a theme here this week. Check this one out. But hey, before we do number 1, if you love metal the way that I love metal, then you're in the right place. You should be a part of the Heavy Metal Philosophy community. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we do this every week. Every week, breaking down the best new metal albums and the podcast breaking down the philosophy of all the goings-ons behind the scenes in the metal community. You know you want to be a part. And if you like any of these bands so far, and I know you'll like number one, hit the like button because it helps spread the word about not only the bands, but also your humble host. It's very much appreciated. Now let's do number one. Coming in at number one, and for those of you that have been with me for a long time, this will be no surprise to you. Y'all knew I was going to pick it this week. Frozen Soul with Glacial Domination. This is that death metal that y'all know I love. I've been going on and on nonstop. I haven't been able to shut up for the past couple of years about what it's, in my opinion, the renaissance of death metal that we're living in right now. Especially on the American side, we got bands like 200 Stab Wounds, we got bands like Undeath, like Tombstoners, Europeans, I ain't forgot about y'all. You got bands like Based, this new wave of throwback death metal. But it's not just that it sounds OSDM. These new guys infuse so much groove into their brand of death metal, a la 200 Stab Wounds, and I would put Frozen Soul right there with them. It's like the groove of 200 Stab Wounds, but it's got sort of that flavor that Bolt Thrower brought back in the day. I cannot rave enough about the Frozen Soul record. I almost put it at the beginning with the big bands because when I look at their Spotify monthly listeners, it's right on my threshold. They're at 40-something thousand when I checked this morning. With this new album, I suspect they will break 50,000. Frozen Soul is coming, y'all, especially if y'all help out and go listen to this record, Glacial Domination. Now let's talk about this week's album art of the week. All right, this week's album art of the week is going to be slightly different. Y'all know most weeks I try to get all artsy fartsy with it. I try to pick the one that I find the most artistic value in, the one that makes me the most curious, the one that's the most different from all the other standard metal album art tropes. Well, this week I'm really not going artsy fartsy. This week I'm laying all of my biases on the table. This one just speaks to me personally, and I really like one of the people involved in it. Like I said, my bias is on the table. Check this one out. This is VHS Quest for the Mighty Rift. Look at this wizard casting a spell, contemplating the orb, and in the orb you see fantasy adventurers. I would normally see an album cover like this on the record store shelves and go, this is some nerd power metal shit, but since I know firsthand that this is death metal with wizards, that's the kind of nerd shit that I'm into. Yeah, I know I just shat all over power metal nerds. It's just not my kind of nerd. I'm a death metal nerd. But we both like fantasy. Check out this wizard. Check out these characters in the orb. And also, this album has a guest spot from a pillar of the metal community, Schuler, who you probably know him better as Death Metal Radio, host of the Megatrends and Brutality podcast. He has a guest vocal spot on this. This is just good, clean, fun death metal dudes talking about the quest for the mighty riff. Come on, right up my alley. Y'all know y'all see this, you want to listen to it. If I saw it in the record store in the death metal section particularly, I would want to buy it. This week's album art of the week. Now remember, at the beginning, I alluded that I would have a link to that Sleep Token episode. I broke down in component form the reasons why I think Sleep Token has been so successful, particularly this year. And you can click right here and you'll go to that episode. Much appreciated. But most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you.